In this video, I will show you how I earned over $6,000 using a trading bot. Initially, I had only $2,000 and now I have $7,500 in my balance. I used a very simple strategy, but most importantly, it was effective. Can you replicate this result exactly the same way after this video? So make yourself comfortable and let me share the strategy with you, share the indicator and how to earn. Let's go. To achieve quick results, you need a hint in the form of an indicator. Today, our hint will be the CCI indicator. Let's add it to the chart and discuss why we need it. Look, we have only 3 zones. We have a zone where we don't work, which is the upper zone. The middle zone from 100 to minus 100, where we open trades. And the zone from minus 100 to minus 300, where we don't open trades. That is, thus, we only work in this yellow zone. And accordingly, if we receive a signal from the bot and it is in the middle, then we open a trade. If it is above or below, then we don't open this trade. We've gone over the principles, so let's see how it works in practice. For example, the first currency pair. I choose the euro dollar. I select this currency pair and see that the price, or rather, the indicator value is currently in the middle. They are exiting this currency pair. Therefore, I will skip this currency pair for now. For example, let's choose the British pound dollar. Maybe something will change here now and I'll be able to open my trade. Let's ask the boost robot where the price will go if we miss this signal, since it will be unpredictable. Yes, a buy signal, but since the conditions are very risky, we must skip this trade. Okay, let's look for another currency pair. For example, it could be the Australian Canadian dollar. Yes, here we can open our trade. Let's do that. Let's choose this currency pair. I choose 1 minute for the trade and receive a buy signal and open my buy trade right from here. Since the CCI indicator is on the yellow line, accordingly, this is the working range. These are the values we will focus on. Today's job operation is also very important. The thing is, the settings of this indicator, we must keep the period at 20. The standard value, and definitely set 15-second Japanese candles. With these settings, the indicator plus the chart settings, we will have excellent performance on 1-minute trades along with the booster bot. And let's observe this trade, how it performs now. By the way, a funny moment is that I opened my trade for an increase here and the price eventually went further up. We can see this impulse, but since the price is outside the working zone, we will not open trades here because there is very high volatility and it can be very risky, which we don't need. First profit is $640. Excellent. We bring the next trade again to 26%. That's $860, approximately that amount, and we'll open the trade. Now I choose the currency pair, Australian dollar, Swiss franc. I switch to the booster bot, select this currency pair, and the trade time is 1 per minute. I receive a buy signal. I see that the value, the indicator is in the working range, and right from here I open a buy trade. Well, let's wait for the result of this trade. In the meantime, I want to remind you that BoosterBot is available to you right now via the link in the description. Go ahead, activate this robot. Its activation takes literally 10 minutes. And after that, you will be able to open similar trades using the indicator. And this strategy provides an overall win rate of about 70 or even 80% of trades. An excellent second trade brings me almost $800. As you can see, I'm not taking much risk, already 4,000 bucks in my balance, although I started with just 2,000, which means a 50% increase in just 2 trades, while risking 25% each time. Let's take the next trade, not with 25%, but let's risk bigger with 30%. $1,200, not bad at all. I choose a currency pair, British pound, Canadian dollar. I switch to the booster bot. I select this currency pair. And the trade time is again 1 minute. And I receive a buy signal. I look at the CCI indicator. See, everything is within the working range. And right from here, I open my buy trade. By the way, if you have any questions regarding the bot settings, other indicators, or just trading psychology, then be sure to write to our support account. The team there will help you and answer all your questions. I will leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment. In the meantime, let's enjoy this trade. A very frustrating deal closes at a loss at the last moment, even though everything started so well. Since my balance allows it right now, I want to cover this loss and open a deal for $1,700. Yes, it's risky, but I'm still going for this justified risk. If I lose everything now, I will still have $1,200 left in my balance, and I'm ready to risk such an amount right now. If you're not ready to take such risks, then initially you should trade at a lower percentage. But since this is about boosting the deposit and I'm demonstrating the effectiveness of this strategy, I'm ready to risk such a balance. I choose the currency pair Australian Canadian dollar. I switch to the booster bot, get a new signal and choose this currency pair again. And the time for the trade is 1 minute. And I receive a buy signal. I look at the indicator, everything is in place within the working range, and I open a buy trade. Let's observe this trade. Now that's more like it. A decent trade definitely brings me $1,500, and I absolutely suggest leaving the next trade at $1,700 and indeed opening the next trade. And let's certainly try to open a trade again on this currency pair, as I like how the CCI indicator is behaving here. I choose this currency pair, set the trade time to 1 minute and wait for the signal. I receive a buy signal again. I look, and now the CCI indicator is moving out of its working range, literally in one candle. And unfortunately, I will have to either get a new signal or change the currency pair. Since there was unstable movement on the previous currency pair, I made the decision to switch to the British pound and the Japanese yen. Let's get a signal on this currency pair, again, for 1 minute. And I definitely receive a buy signal. I open my buy trade right at this moment from here. The CCI indicator is currently in the average range, so it should definitely be a very safe trade. And I get an excellent profit, almost $1,500. I suggest opening a final trade, probably for the same amount, or let's say exactly 30%. That's 17 cents to 70. Great result. And I have already tripled my balance. Not bad. Now I'm choosing a currency pair related to the Euro Swiss franc. I carefully select it in the booster bot and configure the time to 1 minute. I receive a buy signal and open a buy trade right from here. Once again, I remind you that you can find this bot right now in the description. You need to follow the link and activate it in Telegram. You don't need to download anything or buy anything. It is available to all our subscribers. We worked very hard for a long time developing this machine, and we want to make trading much simpler than everyone imagines. So if you want to get this trading robot, just follow the link in the description and activate it. This process literally takes 5 minutes, and then you will be able to achieve the same results. Let's watch this trade. And by the way, another very important point, when we look at the CCI indicator, what exactly is this middle line responsible for? Now let's wait for the trade to close in profit, and I will show a very important point that probably should have been mentioned at the beginning, but this will be a bonus for all those who watched until the very end. This trade closes with an excellent profit of $1,600, and my balance is already $7,500. Just think about that. That means I have almost quadrupled my deposit. And what exactly is this CCI indicator responsible for? When we look at its value and how the bot actually sees the chart. That is, for example, we have a normal movement on regular volumes. This indicator shows us the volatility of sellers and buyers. When we have normal movement, the bot calculates everything perfectly without any impulses. But when the price makes a sudden impulse, for example, we experience movements like these, and they break a little. Analysis. Moreover, the booster bot might indicate that the price will go higher. That is, for example, the booster bot issued a signal for a decrease somewhere around here, and it saw that we could reach this point. Okay, what is the probability that on regular volumes we will reach here in 1 minute? Very high, because we have no resistance here. But if the volumes are indeed too large, we very quickly reach this point and then make a significant reversal. That's why I don't actually recommend trading when the price comes out here. In fact, the booster bot, it did its job. It calculated the time in 1 minute where the price will be. But with fixed volumes, we cannot see any cataclysms or consequences that await us with large volumes. Neither professional traders nor trading bots. Therefore, this needs to be taken into account, and I recommend using this indicator. It's a very convenient tool, and you will always be able to see where such an unpleasant moment might occur. Or for example, here we received a sell signal. Let's even zoom in. Here we received a sell signal, and the booster bot saw that we should reach this level, but at some point our numbers rose very strongly. Volume. Here we reached this moment. Our trade hadn't closed yet, and a sharp impulse occurred, causing us to close at a loss. That's why always keep an eye on this indicator if you want to increase your wins. I will leave all useful links in the description. If you want more information, then subscribe to our Telegram channel. And if you have any questions or don't understand how to activate the booster bot, then write to our support account. I will leave the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Well, that's all from me for today. See you soon. And don't forget to subscribe and give a like.